All right. Good evening, guys. Once again, you're all welcome to our live session this evening. It's a pleasure to have you guys, and I hope you all had a fantastic weekend. So we're here now. Today's Monday, and yeah, we're about to dive into the week. So let's see. I'll just go over the chat just a little bit, just to provide a little update. And yeah, we'll go into the journals. I think the reason why we're here today, for the most part, is to kind of like dissect our journals. And I went through some of the journals, so we'll speak about that in a moment. But permit me to just share my screen. Actually, let's see. I didn't really see much of an update, to be honest, like from Thursday until now on the charts. So yeah, let me just share my screen. Let's see. All right. So can you guys see my screen?
Yeah, sure, we can see.
Okay. All right. Sweet. That makes sense. Now, in terms of updates, not much has happened. I think I just want to speak on pound NZD because of what happened towards the end of the week. But for the GP wise, still the same, to be honest. Not much has happened. Not much has happened. We had like a bullish close last week for some of these small pairs, and yeah, they're just pulling back. To be honest, nothing too crazy. Pound card is also. I think there was a pullback last week. Yeah, a pullback. But yeah, still the same. Nothing too crazy. I just want to speak on pound NZD because it also pulled back drastically on Friday, trying to break below the key level, which is interesting. Let me see. Yes. So we bounced off, but before the end of the week, price kind of pulled back to the downside, which was very interesting. So we're back just below the key level now, and yeah, we'll see. Now this trade is back into drawdown, of course, obviously, and I think it's the only trade in drawdown as I speak to you. But yeah, we'll see. Either this guy will stop out, or this month will prove to be yet another bullish week. So we'll see. Find out. Only time can tell. But yeah, this is just the update. I think this went from being a break even to coming down into drawdown in like the space of 1 day. So I just knew that I had to give just a little update on this. And what else? EU still the breakout. Nothing too crazy. Let me see. Okay, my network is being shit. Okay. Uh, All right. Sorry about that breaking transmission. So, let me go back. Yeah. So, EU is pulling back to the key level, of course. So I still have my eyes on this guy. But yeah, I think aside pound NZD and EU, nothing else is like nothing too crazy that's happened between Thursday and Monday. So, there's not much of an update in terms of indices. Nothing crazy. I think gold is just taking the highlights. We're pushing back. After the pullback last week, we're pushing back into bullish territory. So yeah, I think that's about it. Okay, so it is very likely that we'll see a new high in this uptrend, and yeah, let's just keep watching. Now, I don't have any areas to buy from at the moment, except price comes down towards these lows. But yeah, so far I just have to watch gold move to the upside. Now, unless it creates a new structure I can work with, gold is just something I have to just watch, right? Because I don't exactly have the entry patterns I'm looking for. So copper as well. I noticed today that copper has not pulled back. I had to set an alert on Thursday, yeah, on the live session for copper, but we didn't see that pullback, not yet. So you see where the alert is set. So price pulled back into the region, didn't fully test it like I would expect. So I'm expecting this pullback to complete, but so far it hasn't happened. But I think this is just the highlight. Silver, nothing. I think we need to breakout, and yeah, I pretty much explained that. So unless you guys have any specific charts you want me to look at, I think I might just get off the screen now and move over to the journals. So if you guys have anything specific, then just let me know so that we can look through it. Just
Hello, Casey. Can you hear me?
yeah, I can hear you.
Okay. I wanted to see. I was looking at that gold chart, and my question is, will you really consider that as a break and a retest? Because I was actually interested taking the longs from there, but personally, looking at it, like I didn't really see the full retest, and I couldn't get involved. So, like, if one actually like gets to hop into such trade, picking the longs, could that be considered a retest, please?
Okay, can you guys hear me now?
Yeah.
Okay, all right, sweet. I think today my network has been a mess, so let me see how I can just manage that today. But yeah, I think we're done with the charts, right? Except you guys have something specific I can look at. If you do, Johnny, welcome. Um, anything you guys want to look at before we just move over to the journals? Is that fine? Okay, nothing else.
Hello, Casey. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, I asked my question before, but it seems like you didn't get me right. I was talking about the gold chart, the zone you actually marked out right now. I was wanting to know if that can be considered as a retest, because I was actually interested taking the longs from there, but to me, I didn't like really see the full retest, and that was why I didn't get involved. So hoping on like kind of a pullback to give me a better retest. So can that be considered as a retest for maybe someone that is actually not wanting to miss out hopping onto the trade?
Yeah,
I
actually, that
answered the
was
question.
yeah. Casey, I think I asked about this same returns and this same pullback. I think that was last week. So he said, like you can't consider it here. Actually, me, I've already opened on this since Friday. So
Yeah. Now, I think for me personally, right, I would only get involved. Like, think about it, right? I've spoken about the breaks and retest I would get involved with. I would only look at this guy for me to look at a long-term buy on gold, right? But this in itself, I think what Carlos is asking is if this is a break and retest. I would not consider it a break and retest yet. I think price has to like come down into the level and like test, right? And he hasn't done that so far. So I wouldn't really let me see. Nah, I wouldn't really consider this a break and retest. Maybe if it comes down to like the level here or the support level here and test, then maybe yes, that might be a break and retest. But like so far, I'll tell this is a pullback, but not enough of a retest. I mean, we didn't see test the previous high, so I wouldn't really call this a retest. If that makes sense.
Yeah, of course, it does make sense because personally, I'm looking at that level, picking up the fee from the previous low, from the previous lower high. You'd actually see that that level corresponds with the 61.8 fib level. So, but I've not like really seen the full retest there, and that was why I didn't like really consider that. Though I'm interested buying from that point because of my fib level. So I'm just waiting to see what happens.
All right, that makes sense. That's okay. So yeah, I get it, and I think we've spoken about the same thing. So yeah, let's see if price will pull back to test that support. It may not happen because like the last time here, it's came close and continued rallying. So gold is like I said, I think I'll call it uncharged or uncharted territory. So anything can happen. This guy's running well. I can't even lie. This guy's running really well. So yes. Any other thing? Anything else? Um just before we roll over. Anything else?
So, Cassie, I was also looking at UJ, UJ on a daily time frame, and I was thinking, is it a pattern there, or it's just normal trend happening?
SDJPY. Let me see.
USD for yeah.
Yeah, what are you looking at?
So, I put now I was looking at like prices coming back to test that level and reverse, and also because of the weakness of the JPY. Although I'm thinking maybe it will not fully come back to test the retest, the key level.
So you're looking at this?
Yes, that is what I'm looking at.
Oh, okay. Now, to be honest, I don't know.
Okay.
To be honest, I don't know. I don't know. Um, Even if price can bounce off here, I don't know if you see. Like I said before, right? Buying off here simply means we're in effect saying that the market will not need to come and test this guy again. So it is only going to make sense if price bounces up from here and just goes up, right? Without having to come back or move sideways or keep it down and test the level again. But if we buy here and it comes down to test 11, of course, it means we take a loss on the buy. You get so trades like this it's more like the win rates, right? How many times do trades like this play out? That's the big question. So I don't know to be honest. What UG is about to do, I don't know. Okay, what I do know is that the key level is what guides us as to what the long-term price action is, which is what I'm saying to buyers. So as long as we're still like above the key level, then I think we have room to continue to the upside. So
Casey.
yep.
Yeah, I think pound AUD is coming back to the level that we were talking about last week.
Pound AUD. Ooh, interesting. Sweet. Yeah, it is. Let me just set an alert immediately just so that I don't. Yeah. Yes.
And I'm seeing the same pattern on Euro HKD. Actually, I wanted to take mine too, but I'm still monitoring the price action here. Still,
Euro what? Euro
HKD.
Hong Kong dollar.
Yes.
Okay. Hold up, Hong Kong. Let me see. Euro Hong Kong dollar. Let me see. Now I don't trade exotics. I don't really trade exotics. I do, but hold up, let me see. Let's see if it open. Sorry. The list has refused to open for some reason. Why could this be happening? Let me see. Okay, 17. Let me see. Okay, that's
Actually,
weird.
I've called the pair. I've called it here before. So
Yeah, I know. I just have if I open this list, I have like a section where I kind of like have exotic. So that's what I was trying to find out. But the list is not coming up for some weird reason. So I'll just have to search that manually now. UHKD. Yep. Let's see. What are you? What are you looking? Okay, yeah. So yeah, now Euro HKD is quite similar to EU, right? The price action is very similar. So if you're
I
looking to
guess
buy this guy,
I guess my own key level is slightly higher than yours. So actually, I'm probably seeing a retest from my own side. So
maybe your level is higher. I just used the exact same metric to plot the levels on exotic as well. So Euro HKD is like still like EU, right? EU has not tested. Same thing with Euro HKD, it hasn't tested yet so far. From what I can see on my levels. So if you're looking to buy Euro HKD, it means you're also having in mind to buy EU as well because they'll most likely move in the same direction in most cases. I mean, look at the chart. I mean, without having to know that it's Euro HKD, you could mistake this for EU.
yeah, that's true.
Without the price here, and the pair at the top left, yeah, you might mistake this for Euro USD. So we always have to keep these things in mind when we trade. So all right, yeah. Anything else? Anything else? Anything else? Okay. All right. So without any other questions, I'll take the screen off now and move over to the journals. So I received a couple of journals during the weekend. So some of us who are quite new here or who were not exactly present on Thursday, we said that the month of May is a month where we're trying to review journals. Okay. So if you're tracking your trades using the journal, then this month is a month where we'll pull up your journal, see how far you're doing, look at your stats, where you might be missing wrong. Just we don't know yet. Like let's just have the data. Let's see what your trading looks like in the last few months. And I received some journals. I think I received like 4 to 5 journals this weekend. So if you're new here,
Yeah,
Abdul,
Casey. Yeah, I'm sorry. Please, did you later drop
yep.
an update on how we are supposed to send the journal to you?
No, I'll do that now. But the thing is, some persons figured that out and sent theirs already. So I'll look at theirs today, okay? But I'm going to show you guys how to do it if you're using Notion, so that you can just send yours this week and then we can look at yours on Thursday. If that makes sense.
Okay, cool.
All right. So before we go over to that point, my journal is updated now. So I think I want to show you guys something. There are some updates I requested for, and these updates are now here. So I just want to show you guys before we move on. So let me see. Yeah. Okay. So can you guys see my screen? Hope it's clear.
Yeah, it's clear.
All right, sweet. So now this is just to give an update on last month's result. GJ is pretty much updated now. 57 days. That's how long the trade took before it stopped out for 1%. But I'm back on with the trade. So last month's return was 6%, which is pretty fantastic, I'd say. And to this year's return, we're looking at 13%, which is also very fantastic. 13% in 4 months, quite good, I'd say. Quite good. What else? So some of the updates that came in is I it is possible to make some of these journals public now as like a track record, so that if I send out a link, you guys can view and like see the updates on my trades and things like that. Now it will not be so much. It will not be much of a difference since I always periodically update these things here to see them live. But I requested for these updates from these guys, and it's out now. So if as time goes on, just know that you can actually have a public link for people to view progress on the track record from start to now. So that is one of the updates that came in. And the second update that came in is here on the start. So I also requested for this. Okay. Before now, you could only look at the stars from here, right? The equity curve from here, but it's too small, and you cannot really enlarge it, which was something I didn't like. So I requested for this, but it took a while for it to come up. But I requested for this update as well. So if I take this back to last year section, which is beautiful. Tap out of the waiting, the traveling, and the hassle. Tap into errors cleared instantly. Tap into payment due, turn into payment done. Tap, chat, fix that, get that, just like that. Tap into more when you need it, miss when you don't. Tap into a world that you it all. Well, tap it. Tap into a DSTV that's all about you. The new My DSTV app. Make sure you stay connected to Africa's best entertainment with our handy DSTV tips. These 16 errors aren't uncommon, but they're easy to avoid. By simply making sure your subscription is paid in full. The easiest way to do this is to check your account balance to see if payment is due. Either download the new My DSTV app by scanning this QR code and view your balance on the home page, or dial your country's USSD code and select option 1. Staying connected to your home of entertainment is always in your control with DSTV. We watch it for free. You're giving pirates something for free too.
free to use your details, free to hack your device, free to steal everything you have. Report piracy to our hotline by email or by scanning the QR code on screen.
DSTV is more than a provider of outstanding entertainment. It's also a gateway to transformative opportunities for business.
Hello, I'm sorry, please. This is from my side. I haven't been able to hear anything for a long time now. Or is it general?
I think it's general because same here.
Yeah, I think it's general because KC have just been talking and no one is hearing him.
Sorry about that, guys. My internet is down. Uh, both connections are really bad at the moment. I'm not sure why, and it's disrupting the live session. But yeah, sorry, my apologies. Okay, my apologies. Um, so I'll share my screen once again. I was trying to make a point. Let's see. Yes. So can you guys see my screen? Just making sure we're still on track. Can you guys see my screen?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. All right. Let me see. Okay, so I was trying to explain. I was trying to explain the equity curve. Now I want you guys to look at from somewhere at the end of June up onto, so there was a high of like 117,000 somewhere at the end of June, and it was not until December that high was broken. You see, that's what I was trying to explain about sometimes having a drawdown, right? So there was a drawdown, and then there was a breakback of the drawdown. So this little drawdown between the end of June up until September, this was the drawdown period. It was a whole quarter. It was a little drawdown. I think it was 7% from like the highest point to like the lowest point before the account started swinging back into action. So yeah, an example of, so again, the question I would ask myself, or the question you would ask is, if you were trading this system between July and September, of course, some things happen. For example, the chart I was using, the key levels, the adjustments from the 4 time frame to the daily time frame. These were some adjustments I made during this time. But the question is, would you automatically abandon the system if between June and September, or if between July and September, there was either a slow period or a drawdown? Would you abandon the system? Some persons would, right? And that's the point of having the long-term goal in mind. 1 and 2, making sure you know your system really well. Okay, so that things like a drawdown of a 5, 6, 7% drawdown would not cause you to leave your system altogether. And having a drawdown for like a period of time, say 2-3 months, does not automatically negate the trading system. You see, if you take just a short-term data, you can rule out good trading systems because of things like this. But now you see how well we're doing right now. The equity is really pushing really far. We have running trades that are not even added yet, and so far we're doing really, really good. So this equity curve is something every trader should have. Okay, you need to see your performance through an equity curve. So you need this. So this is why as time goes on, as you journal more and you begin to find consistency in your trading, you want to move over to having like a proper track record. So these are the things we're going to discuss today. But yeah, pretty much an example to show you. So this is an update as well as the public link. These are two updates that were requested for and have now been added, which is very beautiful to see. So as we go on, I'll show you guys how things go, how the account moves. So far, we're sitting like at a new high as in April right now, a new high. So is it likely that we might have a pullback? Maybe we'll have a pullback or maybe not. We'll find out as time progresses. Now, something else I wanted to point out is, let me see. So I did something today. Let me see if I can put it up. Let's see. So one thing I do is I grade reports using ChatGPT. Now, ChatGPT is very smart, but it depends on who is using it and how you ask the questions, the prompt you use, and things like that. So here's what I asked ChatGPT to do, and I'll show you guys what I came up with. Let me see. So I took the equity curve and I took the equity curve and then I dropped it here and I asked ChatGPT to grade it. So first of all, this was the first summary. It says the equity curve reflects a disciplined swing trader with high reward to risk setups, strong psychological control, and solid market adaptation. The ability to preserve capital during flat periods and push hard during favorable conditions is a hallmark of experienced trading. But it's pretty much like we see here, drop the equity curve and ask ChatGPT to break this down right into bits and use everything it has to dissect the equity curve, and that's what it did. Okay, so
sorry
to yep.
Yeah, I still don't get how you come up with this. Like, did you just send the equity or like the picture to ChatGPT? So like, ChatGPT just have to analyze this for your work because I haven't still about come with it.
That's what I did. Yes. So I took a picture of the equity curve and I dropped it here and asked ChatGPT to like dissect it. Yes, that's what I did.
Okay.
And it can do that. It can do that for you. Now I was trying to do that with your records. I think Carlos is here, George is here. I think I tried to do that with like 3 records. The issue was ChatGPT cannot access links. So I needed to download the record, like the journal, and put it here and ask ChatGPT to dissect it. But because of how the links are sent, I can't download the files. I think I was going to mention it here today. So I wanted ChatGPT to also dissect your records as well, but it couldn't because it cannot open links directly, if that makes sense. And then I cannot download the files. Like I could not download the files. I can only look at it and click on the links, but I can't download the entire journal. So that's why ChatGPT could not dissect any of your records. But I'll show you guys what I was trying to achieve with this. So let's fully dissect this equity curve frame by frame with a professional breakdown like you'd find in a hedge fund performance review or pro trading audit. So that's what ChatGPT tried to do. Now it was from January 15th to April 4th, 2025, which is the entire the time period. It says this equity curve reflects the trajectory of a trader operating with strong risk discipline, excellent capital preservation, and effective profit compounding over 15 months. It visually showcases both drawdown management and opportunistic growth phases, which is the hallmark of a skilled swing trader. Now, ChatGPT is of course non-biased, and it would grade what it sees, right? So ChatGPT doesn't know me; it's just reading what I sent to it. So phase by phase analysis, there are different phases. Now, initial dip, which was like the first 2 months of the account, there was an initial dip, normal pattern drawdown, possibly early experimentation of volatility in the learning curve. Trader was not over leveraging and the losses were shallow, so it was quite healthy. And now in phase two, there was a sharp recovery and early growth, which is between February and March 2022. There was a growth in 6 weeks. It was steep and clean up onto 65,000. So remember, the account starts at 500,000 and it currently sits right now around 680,000. So that's like $180,000 gain on the account. So first of all, there was a good growth, and what it could show that. So this is just ChatGPT explain what he thinks about the account, right? The trader found edge or adapted fast, or it likely benefited from favorable swing setups, possibly trend continuations. So yeah, excellent. Now phase three is the first correction. So there was a moderate pullback, and this might be because of the market shift or overextension, and now maybe tight stop out of premature exit. Now the response is the equity didn't collapse, which means there was proper risk control. So it shows early experience in handling correction cycles without spiraling, which is very good. Now the phase four talks about April and May. So there was another aggressive push to triple digits. So this was the movement, and it happened in over a month. And this were maybe possible drivers. Now, of course, it doesn't know that. It's just giving what it thinks. And yeah, fantastic. Momentum mastery in phase four. Phase five says plateau and micro chop zone. And this was a long period of time. It was between May and October. It was ideally between July and September. But of course, ChatGPT is just trying to round it up, if that makes sense. It says prolonged sideways action with multiple drawdowns, which is the period where June and September had to experience a drawdown, which is what they explained in this time period. So duration is 5 months, and interpretation is market conditions likely turned choppy, but then trade remained active and conservative and focused on capital preservation instead of forcing gains. Now, max drawdown from peak was 30%. Now, not 30% as in that is like the max drawdown, because it was only a 7% drawdown. Ideally, it was just 30K, right? So I think we'll see that as time goes on. It was just 30K, not exactly 30%. Because if you think about it, as at June, before the drawdown, I had not even made 30%, right? So it was not a 30% drawdown, if that makes sense. So it's just speaking of from peak. If you're looking at from where the account got to, kind of pulled back 30%. Just looking at the profits alone, not from the account balance, if that makes sense. But yeah, recovery duration was long, but it was steady and there were no blow-ups. So this explains that there was professional grade patience and I avoided impulsive trading. Phase 6 talks about October 2024 to March 2025. Now, steady climb resumes. So after the pullback, the account started to push once again. We have series of higher highs and higher lows. The account moved from around 85K to 150K in profit. And maybe there was more improved timing and trade filtering. Now, remember I said that some of the adjustments I made took proper effect in October because I had been making these adjustments from time. And because this is a swing trade approach, it takes time for some of these adjustments to take effect. And it pretty much had to take effect sometime around October of 2024. So, rebounded after months of stagnation without abandoning the process, which is very important. And then strategic endurance was visible here, which means I have great edge resilience, which is impressive. Now, phase 7, which is pretty much the last phase, it is between March and April. There was another explosive growth. So we had from 150K to somewhere around 200K. Still 1 month, and the slope was extremely sharp. So the interpretation, according to ChatGPT, is maybe I've had high quality swing setups and I was able to time them to perfection. Maybe I sized heavier with bit of conviction. Now, I didn't size heavier, like of course I didn't size heavy on these trades. So it's just giving what it thinks about it. So same risk, there was no extra sizing on the trades. And it says full alignment of market conditions and strategy. Yeah. The spark shows elite execution when opportunity arises. So yeah, that's pretty much what ChatGPT thinks about the account. So the metrics is here: max drawdown, recovery factor, consistency. It says here that the recovery factor is excellent. So each dip ends with a high equity level, which is true, right? If we go back to the Stone Journal I showed you guys, you see that with every pullback, there's a new high in the equity curve, which is ideally what we're looking for with a professional system. Now, the growth is like a staircase, right? It is not parabolic. It is not unsustainable. It is actually step by step, which is what we're looking for. We don't want our accounts to swing high and swing low every now and then. We want steady growth on the accounts we trade. And that's what this is an example to see. And how did I manage volatility? It says here it has been excellent, and the dips are never catastrophic. Exactly. This is what we're looking for. We never want our drawdowns or the dips in our accounts to be catastrophic. Nah, never. So we also look at the equity slope. Long term, it says it is upward trending and it is increasing, of course, which is what we're looking for. Now, psychological stamina, very strong. Months of stagnation did not cause deterioration in the equity curve. Exactly. That time period where we didn't have that breakout, we did not also see a huge drawdown in the portfolio, which is what we're looking for. So, hold up. Now, what does this equity curve teach us or tell us about the trader? Risk is properly controlled and it shows excellent discipline. The trader refuses to let any single drawdown to define the equity trajectory. Good. Conviction builds as profit rise, conviction increases. Exactly. But position sizing stays responsible. Exactly. There's patience because even though there were long quiet periods, I didn't have to force trades, and it meant that I showed mastery over impulse. And the sharp spikes shows that I was deliberate with my executions. I'm always deliberate with my executions. And then I have to adapt. I was always adapting to market conditions when the market was consolidating and when it is trending. Fantastic. Now it says this is the final evaluation. This is an elite level equity curve. It is not just about the gain, it is the way you earned it. There are no lottery style windfalls here, which is what we're looking for. Now, this is a curve shaped by professional level trade discipline, risk management, and market understanding. If you were to show this to a prop firm, not a prop firm like a funding company, like a traditional prop firm, a hedge fund, or a trading community, it would instantly command respect because it tells the story of someone who can preserve capital through harsh periods, who can wait for the market to align with their edge, who can control emotion and position sizing, and compounds intelligently, not aggressively. So this is pretty much what ChatGPT had to say about the portfolio. Now, again, this is interesting because it just allows a third party to grade your performance. Now, this is something you want to do from time to time. You want a third party, ideally ChatGPT, since it is free, right? You want it to just grade your performance and tell you how you're doing. Okay, tell you how you're doing. Now, of course, like I said, it depends on how you prompt this because there are other things like Sharpe ratio, Sortino ratio. These are things we'll speak about as time goes on. That also matters as you trade your account. But yeah, this is something you always want to do from time to time to make sure that you're in check, to make sure the performance is good. Now, I could also ask ChatGPT to compare these returns to a hedge fund, and they will do that as well. And I promise you, this is same performance. Okay, it's elite level performance. I'm pretty sure of that. So, what does this help you understand? That you can actually check to see how you're performing, right? How you're really doing in the market, and if you need to make improvement, this will tell you. Things like this will tell you. So, if you've not already done something like this before, try it out. Okay. So I think let's now move on to the journals. I will show you guys how you can do this. All right. So I don't know if you guys have questions though.
Okay. Actually, these ChatGPT evaluation is highly impressive. Like, it's okay because like how do you even go about it or something like? Is it just the equity curve like someone can just send here just for like further evaluation or something? Like apart from the equity curve, like what else? No.
Now it depends. Now I've also taken a screenshot of my dashboard before now and sent to ChatGPT to also evaluate, and it's pretty much the same thing. But An equity curve is like the best bet you can use if you don't have like an actual track record, right? An equity curve can do that for you. But now, since you guys, most of us here that don't have, or that doesn't have um, maybe an equity curve, um, what we can do is maybe use our journals, right? But I wanted to see how that would work. But I cannot download the journals that you guys sent because I only have access to the links. Okay. I think I only have access to Captain's journal. Like I only have like the actual file. I think it's just Captain I have his actual file. I think the rest of us is just a link. So because it's a link, I cannot actually do anything about it from a link. I actually need the journal. So for you guys, I think something else you can do for me is the link is fine, is beautiful. That's what I want to see. But for the sake of me trying to grade your performance, I think you guys can also, because Notion has the option of downloading the files like an Excel spreadsheet. I think Notion has the option to do that. So I think if you can download yours and also send it to me as well, that'll be fine. So that I can also ask ChatGPT to grade it. Okay. So the link is what we're going to use for reviews here. Okay, but in terms of actually like grading performance from like a third would not be me, then of course I think ChatGPT can do that for us. But then, like I said, I will need to download like the files, okay? Because if you just copy the link and then send it to ChatGPT, it will not work. Okay, ChatGPT cannot access third-party links, and for that reason, it cannot really do much for the journal. So I hope that makes sense.
But actually, how can we get to download these files, please, Casey?
Or Carlos, I think you were saying something. Go ahead.
Yeah, I was asking how we can download the file because you're like the file that we would copy to send to you is just like to like get to see the track and how it have actually been. But now talking about that of ChatGPT, you talked about downloading a file that you then upload to the chat. So like to the ChatGPT, I mean. So I was like, how to handle the downloading the file to upload to ChatGPT to give you a detailed information like this.
Okay, let me see. It's possible to download. Let me just quickly check so that you guys
Okay,
can just.
yeah, I just tried. I just tried, but the option I got was export, and so
Yeah, I
I
think it's like.
exported. Export, yeah, they
Export.
gave me a zip archive file, so we have to yeah, extract it, and then it will be a folder. I've done it
Yes.
now.
Okay. Yes. It would come in an Excel format. I don't know if Notion has made an update for it to come as a PDF, but in most cases, it will come as an Excel.
Excel, yeah. It came in with an Excel.
So um, yeah. So that's how it usually comes. So Carlos, I think you got that now. So you have to export. It will not show as download. I think it will show as export. So try exporting it, and yeah, let's see how that will turn out. So um, but let me let me go with this for some of us who have not understood how to shade nation file. I think I have some of them here. So let me pick one. Sorry, guys. Sorry, once again. Let me share one. Let me share. So I was speaking of those of us who do not know how to share the links. So you come to the top right, you see share, and then you can once you come here, you see the options. So this is Carlos's journal, and that's why I can only view it. Okay, because that's the setting he used. So once you come to the top right and see share, you can adjust the setting right here, and then copy the link and then just send it to me. Okay. So I think Abdul and some of us here who are using Notion to track the trades but don't know how to share it. This is how you do it. Okay. And now there's no option to export here because what I'm currently looking at is Plus Journal. So there's no option here to export. I can only view the journal. I can't do anything about it. If that makes sense. But if you go to your individual journals, unless I have to pull up my old Notion, you can export. Carlos, have you seen the option yet on your end? Have you seen it?
Of course, I've seen that. Of course, I've seen that. I was actually looking at it
Okay.
after the session. So I was saying to make it accessible and not to be viewed.
Sorry, what?
I said I'm looking at how to make it like for you to be able to edit, like to do something on it and not just viewing it as you are just right now.
Yeah, it's just an option. I can actually click on the links, which is like the most important thing, but I cannot read this. Like, I cannot expand it to read your exact reasons for entries and stuff like that. But yeah, it's okay. It's okay. As long as you can see the
Oh,
option to export. Yeah, as long as you can see the option to export, just try exporting it and then send it to me as a file so that I can use ChatGPT to grade the performance as well. If that makes sense.
okay, okay. Understand.
So let's see. Now you see this is different, right? So this is I think hold on. George, this is your journal, right?
Yeah, this is mine.
Okay, that makes sense. Because I was confused by the name, right? I saw a name like this during this session this evening, and I was confused.
Of course, there was a name like that that joined the session this evening, but I think the
Yeah,
second name
George.
there is actually George's name.
Yeah, but I know, but I'm just trying to make sure that we're all on track. But yeah, that's okay. That's okay. So, like I said, I looked at some of the journals that you guys sent, and yeah, pretty interesting. Pretty interesting. So, I think Carlos, we'll start with you. Okay, start with your journal. Um, okay, no, hold on, Captain. I noticed something about your journal which I wanted to speak on. Let me see. Captain, are you here? Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
All right. Interesting. So let me see. Can I share my other screen? Um, okay. So okay, yeah, colors. Now, this is what I was trying to speak on when. Oh, yeah, this should not be here. Okay. So- Sorry, guys. Hold on. All right. So, Captain, I noticed something. Your journal does not have any links. Like I can't see the chart of the journal, right? So that's like the only problem not the only problem, but it is difficult to understand how you trade properly, okay, and have like and dissect your way of trading from just the records, okay. For example, let's look at um the first trade here. The first trade here is US 100, which is the Nasdaq 100, and the trade type here says continuations. Okay, so this gives you an idea of you're not taking a reversal here; it's a trend continuation. The structure here says it's a downtrend, and
Yeah.
the entry type is a break and retest, and the entry time frame is 1 hour. This is the level, and this is the candlestick confirmation. This is P&L, the status if you played out or stopped out. But now I still don't know. Like I can't place it in my head. I don't know if you're trying to understand what I'm saying. So it would make sense. Okay, it would make sense for us to have like a link you get so that we can see the trades before, like when you're taking them and how they played out. Because then I can now place these things because these things could mean anything, right? These explanations in terms of the pair, the trade type. Like I understand what you're doing, but the fact that I can't see for myself, like with a visual picture, it makes more sense. I don't know if you get it. So that was like it was kind of hard trying to decipher how you trade or speak or say much about it. For example, let me see. Let me see. Now look at some of the wins here. They're all breaks and for the most part, all of the trades here are breaks and retests, except just this guy, right? So all breaks and retests, all continuations, all the wins I see here are all continuations, and most of them have very similar entry time frames, very similar reasons for entering trades. So the question now is, what could be the reason why some of your trades are not playing out, right? So there are other things that the chat will tell us that these records here are not telling us. You get so the journal is not complete if there are no links to the charts, the befores and the afters. You get so that's why it was much more difficult for me to grade like the journal. You get. So I think this is like something you might want to adjust as you record, like the new record you're trying to get in. Maybe you'd not maybe. I think you should want to put the links to the trades before you enter them, and after you get involved, like the result. Does that make
Okay,
sense?
I will do that. Yeah, I'll start putting the links. Thank you very much.
All right, all right. So I think that was like the only thing. So it's much more difficult because from the chart I can figure out certain things that the record here would not explain, and okay, some of the links are coming in now. So I can figure out some of the things that were not clear here, but from here it's like pretty difficult, right? It's pretty difficult. It's pretty difficult. Okay, let me see. Let me see. Hold up. That's like the only thing. Now there are some adjustments I would want to speak of for every one of us here who are tracking our trades, but let me just go over all the journals I can for now before speaking of the adjustment. But yeah, I think Captain, you get the point, right?
How you doing?
But this is good to see that. Yeah, this is very good. This is good. So yeah, I'll come back to this. Let me see. Let me see. Okay. So let me copy this now. So I think the next that we'll look at is George. Let's look at yours, and then I think we'll conclude Carlos. So share my screen now. All right. So, George, are you here?
Yes, please, I'm here.
All right, wonderful. So, this is your journal, and I looked at it today, and I found some interesting things. Now, like I said, I cannot really copy this link. Okay, hold up. All right, let's see. Okay, so of course it's not complete yet because some of the trades need to come in. But 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 trades, 9 recorded trades here. Um, so now one thing I noticed here that's missing here is if you bought or sold. Now you can't. I think that was also missing from Captain's journal. Let me see. Yes, it was. So it's missing. So I don't know what you did here. The only way I can figure out what you did is through the market structure, because if it's an uptrend, then I would assume that you bought, right? If it's a downtrend, I would assume that you sold. But like the actual buy or sell is just, if it's there, it's easy. So that I just understand what you did immediately with the trade, if that makes sense. Um, what else did I notice? Let's see. Let's see. So you had 3 wins, and you had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 losses. 3 wins, 5 losses, 1 break even. Hold up, I think I noticed something here. All right, let's look at the first trade. USDC uptrend, break and retest to continue the trend, and it was a retest of the key level and Fibonacci, the 50% Fibonacci. It was on the daily time frame, and it resulted in a loss. This was the risk to reward, and here's a screenshot. Now, of course, let's also make sure to have the befores and afters. It just helps, right? It just helps a whole lot.
Okay.
But yeah, this is a screenshot. Now, this trade did not play out. Now, I remember this. Yes, I remember this trade because I also got into the longs. But after a proper review, we saw that for the most part, we were still against the overall trend on USDC. So, big picture was a downtrend, and price tested triple on immediate level as triple tops. Okay, yes, that's true. But for the most part, it was still, the trend had not fully reversed. So, in all honesty, I would not say we're dealing with an uptrend. Okay, in hindsight, because it was like the start of the uptrend, but it had not fully formed. Okay, that's like the only thing with USDC trade. Now, let's see, USDJPY uptrend. Now something I remember is, you see, entry type. This is something that you did not have. What you have here is confirmation of entry. Now I want to make sure that we're able to break the reasons for our entries into very few words. For example, Captain's entry type is a break and retest. Like, that's it. Okay. So I don't want us to have individual reasons for each of the trades we take. The reason why I'm saying this is so that our trades are not random. Okay, there needs to be a consistent pattern with the trades we're taking. Okay, so let me give an example. USDCHF, USDJPY. This is not an uptrend, so that's the first adjustment we're seeing. But it was a break and retest of the key level. USDJPY is an uptrend. Yes, I remember this trade. But it was not the break and retest of a key level. That's the difference. And that's what I noticed with some of the things we wrote here. But I have to be careful about what we're recording. Now, is this a level? It is. It's a level, but it's not what I regard as a key level. You get, that's the difference between 141 down here and 149. Okay, that's the difference. This is a weekly level, yes, but it is not a key level like 141 is. So even though it's a break and retest, let me see. Now you did not record this as a break and retest, so but I suppose it is. Yeah, it's a break and retest. So also it needs to be there, right? So I don't want us to have like how to explain it now. Individual reasons. I saw this and I saw that. There needs to be a pattern. Okay, there needs to be a pattern. And what I noticed after looking at the journals collectively is that most of these trades are without a plan. What I mean is there's no written plan for the trades you're about to enter. It is like you plan you plan around what's happening with the idea. It's like you plan a lot around your analysis. You don't have a plan that is specific, like a trade plan that you follow for every trade you take. That's what I noticed with the review I had on all the journals. And I think is for every person I reviewed. Okay, and that's something that needs to change. What we're going to do after this review is you're going to have a plan, like a plan you've written down that you use for the trade you take. Okay, that's something that needs to be worked on. But let's go back to the journal. So, USDJPY, retest of a support level, yes. On the 4-hour time frame, it stopped out. That's fine. AUD card downtrend. Yes, it's a downtrend. It's a break and retest of a minor level, and it was in the 3 time frame and it played out. Cool. And then USD, it's a downtrend. It's a break and retest of key level. Let's see. Okay, so George, would you say that this was the break and retest of a key level?
Yeah, my idea was like it broke down and it came back to retest that green level. So I
Yeah.
consider it as a break and retest of the key level.
Okay, but where's the key level though?
That's the 0.5800.
Okay, 0.5800. Okay, now you see the difference. Now here's what we're seeing with the analysis, right? I hope you guys can see the charts, right? You guys can see the charts, right?
Yeah, of course we can see the charts.
All right. So here's the difference. Now here's my question to you, George. Was your entry a retest of the key level or a retest of the green line?
Yeah, my entry was not a retest of the key level, but the key level gave me the confirmation that prices like have tested, so it's probably it's coming down.
All right. Now here's where I said. Now I want you guys to look at. We're looking at the charts, right? Let's move forward. I want to show you guys something that is to be worked on. So let's move on. BTC downtrend. Fibonacci is 50%, and it's a break of trend line. So you see now that there are individual reasons for why these trades are entered. There is no how to explain this now. There's no pattern. Like what I mean, there's no pattern. It's like the reasons for the entries are not exactly similar. They are in a way, but let me show you BTC now. Here's BTC, right? This is a break of a trend line, and it's an individual trade, right? The question is, do you take breaks of trend lines? You see, this is what I've said about what the journals help us to see. Do you take breaks of trend lines every single time, or this is a break? This trend line break is particular to BTC? Because the reason why I'm asking the question is I didn't see any other trend line break here amongst the trades. So the question is a trend line break what you take on a regular day? Is it part of your plan? Is it part of your system, or it is just that you saw it and it looked good and you took it? Do you understand my question?
Yes, I understand. The idea is like I saw it, then I see the trend line have been broken, so I'll take the opportunity on that.
Now, here's the thing. Here's the problem with trying to trade like that. The problem with trying to trade like that is there's no plan beforehand. What I mean is, like I said, the market will present opportunities every single day in every way, shape, or form, right? But it is just too random. There's just so much randomness in the market that you cannot just look out for individual opportunities. It's like you have to know your bread, you have to know your onions. So you want to take trades that are particular to you, your own plan, what you're looking out for. But I noticed that it is not what I'm seeing on the journals, right? So BTC is not the same as NZUSD. Let's look at AD card. This AD card, it is a retest of this minor level, right? It is not a retest of the key level, it is a retest of this minor level, and then this played out. But you see that the entry on AD card is different from NZUSD, and the entry on NZUSD is different from BTC. Let's look at pound JPY. This is a trade that we all took that stopped out, right? This guy. Now, this is a retest of a key level. Now, aside pound JPY, the only other retest of the key level I saw is USDCHF. But the difference between these two is that this was actually a downtrend or a sideways market, and we're trying to buy it. This is an uptrend. We took a loss, but we're back on the trade. Let's look at the next NZUSD. It's a downtrend, right? It's a downtrend. But I think you bought here. Now look at the reason for the trade. It says price tested on a minor key level and a double bottom pattern. Now it was a buy in a downtrend, but you bought because of a double bottom pattern, and it was a minor key level. What I've noticed here is you take trades from minor key levels, from major key levels. You take now it was a downtrend, but you bought, so it was a reversal. Now it shows that there is an aspect of your journal that is not complete, which is let me see how that's written. The trade type. I don't know if you take continuations or reversals. There's no column that states it. Captain has it. I think Carlos has it, but you don't have the judge. So you need that column, right? A column that states whether or not it's a continuation or reversal. Because enter the USD here, I don't know if this is a reversal or not, because I don't know if you sold. I would assume you sold here because it's a downtrend, but you bought. Now I didn't know you bought, and I don't also know it's a reversal, not a trade continuation. The question is, do you take reversals like this? You bought because of a double bottom in a downtrend of a minor key level. If you see this every single time, would you do it? That's a big question. So it's not about winning the trade because you want this guy, but it's not really about winning the trade. Because again, like I said, the reasons for entering the trades are all different. There's a difference between each of the entries. That's what makes them unique and random. But we cannot achieve consistent results if we have random ways of entering the market. We need to have a particular way, and that's why I said that the entry type is what differentiates our systems. Because, like I said, a breakout is not the same system as a breakout retest. It's different. So your entry type is like, to a great extent, what explains your system. Now you don't have entry type here, but you have confirmation of entry. Now you now have individual reasons why you enter the trade. Let's look at pound card. April 14th, it says uptrend, break and retest of key level. Now this is not the key level. Was it? Let's see. Now this is not the key level. Now again, this now comes down to what we attribute as key levels, right? Because this is a break and retest of a weekly level, not a monthly or quarterly key level. You get. So again, the reasons for the trades are different. Okay, the reasons for the trades are different, and we don't want that. We don't want our trades to be random in the way we enter. I don't know if I'm making sense here, Jude.
Yes, I understand. I'm listening.
All right. So let's see, is there any similarity between any of these trades here? Let's see. Uh, hmm. Uh, okay, I don't think we checked pound NZD, did we? Okay, we didn't. Now, yeah, I remember this guy. Now, this trade you recorded this trade as a loss, but from the chart, it's different. So I was kind of confused. So this is a loss, right?
Yes, it was loss of because my stop loss was, I think, was too tight. Then he took me out.
Oh, okay, yeah, that's the one where you're supposed to type. Okay, that makes sense. So now let's review and let's see how many losses. Okay, so now I want us to make sense of the similarities between the trades, and I don't see too many similarities, to be very honest. Right now, we can say USD and USD JPY, but the difference is they're no longer similar, especially since this is no longer an uptrend, right? This would be okay. I think I don't say this guy, but now this would be sideways, right? This would be a sideways market, not an uptrend. So we can no longer say that they are similar because the market structure is different. They are both okay. Something else is this is a key level retest. This is a support level retest. It's different, even though they both have Fibonacci of 50%. AD card, it's a breakdown retest of a minor level, not the major key level. So that now, here's my point. If you are taking minor key level retests, you cannot grade them under the same trades as major key level retests. They're different. Why? Because the outcome of these trades will differ. The number of times that price will bounce off a major key level is not the same number of times that the market will bounce off a minor key level. So they are not the same. So if you're going to have an entry type here, you're going to have break and retest of minor key level, break and retest of major key level. Okay, it would differentiate it so that we know exactly what we're dealing with. Look at NZUSD. Let's see, AD card and USD what are the similarities? Both breaks and retest and of, let's see, minor key levels. Yeah, pretty much the same thing. Was there a H and S pattern here? There was on AD card, I think there was, yeah. Yep. Hold up. Yes, we did have a H and S patterns. Yes, slightly we did, but we also have that on USD JPY as well. Because yes, H and S pattern as well. So these two trades are similar, okay, but they are different from this. You get it? Now, NZUSD is even very much different from these two because let's see, it is not the think about it. This is not this green line. You can't regard this green line as a key level, right? You can also regard it as a minor level. You're just trading off the H and S pattern here. You get, so it's different. It's very different. What else? BTC. Let's see. Okay, exactly different. Different from NZUSD. Also different from AD card. So you see now that the trades are pretty random, right? So what the goal? Okay, the goal is to try to make them consistent. Make the reasons for our trades be consistent. Because we cannot replicate consistent results if we have random entries. It is not possible. It is not possible. Let's see. Pound JPY. Okay, we spoke about this. Now, pound JPY here. Do we have any trade that relates to this guy? I would say pound NZD. Okay, but the difference is you were stopped out because of your tight stop. So what it means is this trade could have been avoided. This loss could have been avoided. Also, this loss on NZUSD could have been avoided. So 2 losses that could have been avoided. Now this eventually became break even, but I don't know. I can't see the after, so I don't know what happened to the trade before it came back to break even. But of course, you can already tell that this is different, right? This is very much different. This is very much different. Look at the next NZUSD. It's a buy in a downtrend. It's a buy because of a double bottom. Different. So you see now that a double bottom buy is different from a break and retest buy. A break and retest buy on the of a minor key level is not the same as a break and retest buy on the major key level. They're different. We need to make sure we remember these things. Once we can articulate these things into their niche, we can now separate which of the systems work better. Because I promise you, breaking down a system in most cases comes down to the entry pattern. In most cases. Because you cannot say that you're trading the same system if you have NZUSD buys with this scenario and NZUSD sales with this scenario. They are 2 different things entirely. 2 different things entirely. Same thing with Bitcoin. Now imagine that you were trading, you took these 3 entries on the same account. It's the same account, but you have taken 3 different trading systems on the same account without even realizing it. This is what the journal helps you see. Now, ordinarily, you might not think about it like this, but with the journal, you can see the difference. Okay? With the journal, you can see the difference. So already from this journal, you can see that there are some losses you should not have taken, and there are some trades you should not have taken. You were not supposed to take. So what am I trying to say here? What should we do from here, George? I think you can take some of these things down. First of all,
Yes.
I want you to please have an entry type. Okay, so instead of having confirmation of entry, change this to entry type. Now I want you to round up the reasons for your entries into repeatable things you can say, right? For example, break and retest of a minor key level / fib retracement or fib 50%. That's okay. If it's a major key level, indicate break and retest of major key level. That's it. But now this also comes down to having a plan. So I think I'll just speak on having a plan immediately. Let's look at BTC as an example. Now, is this an opportunity? It is. Do I think anything is wrong with this trade idea? No, I don't. The question is this a trade idea that fits your plan? Is this already in your plan? That's where the problem lies. So what I understood here is we don't just need a journal, but we actually need a trading plan. Because I saw from the reviews that we take the trades based on, yeah, it looks good. This analysis looks good. That's not bad in a sense, but if we're trying to replicate or get consistent results, then that's not what we should do. Because even though this analysis looks good, if it doesn't fit your plan, then there's no reason why you should be taking it. Okay? There's no reason why you should be taking it. So, we need to have a plan. Each and every one of us needs to have a trading plan that we follow. Now, the reason why I say we need to have a trading plan that we follow is that, for example, if you had a trading plan, which is what brings us to the entry type, right? If you had a trading plan and you take breaks and retests of minor key levels and major key levels, if these are the 2 entry types you have, then think about it. Would you take BTC USD, George? If you had a trading plan that has just 2 entry types, break and retest of major key level, exactly.
No, I will not take here.
You wouldn't take it. Reason is that the trade does not fit your plan. It is not a trade that it's in your plan, so you don't have any reason to take it. So you see now that the plan and the journal, they go hand in hand, because you don't have it. You're not supposed to record a trade in your journal that is not in your plan, which means in the first place you're not supposed to take a trade that is not in your plan. So what it means is every trade that comes into your journal should be a trade that is in your plan. Your plan, I mean, the systems you trade. Okay, the system you trade. But for the most part, most of us do not have a plan yet. So what I noticed from the review is that it is something we need to have, an actual plan with our trades. So I think in our next session, before that, I think I'll come up with an actual plan, something that can be repeatable, right? Something that can be worked on. So you guys can use that as a template to then create your own plan. Okay. But yeah, I think these were some of the things. So George, think about it. Is this not interesting? Are these not interesting things about your system that you didn't know about?
Yes, yes. I just realized I'm supposed to have an entry pattern and a plan too. Yeah. So have and some trade I shouldn't have like take it or I should just avoid it and follow one pattern. That is all.
Exactly. So what is this is showing us is there needs to be clear pattern. If you have 2-3 entry types, you stick to those ones. You don't take anything else outside of it. Okay. So you see now that ended USD downtrend, even though it won, was not supposed to be here. It's only going to be here if you take a reversal. And I haven't seen you mention anything about that. Besides, we don't know the win rate of this pattern. We don't. So you see how random this is in the grand scheme of things. It's just one trade out of the blue. So we cannot, if we look at it, we can just pick individual random trades and expect to find consistency in the same portfolio. It can't work. It is just too random for that to work out. So what we're learning here is, as we progress, we're trying to make sure there are similarities with the entries we take. There are similarities with the entries we take. We can now articulate each of these things. Okay, a breakout is a breakout, a retest is a retest. A retest on the 1 minute time frame is not the same thing as a retest on the daily time frame. You cannot put those two together. It's different. You get it? They are both different. So when we're able to differentiate our trades like this, we're able to pick out, we can now know which of these patterns work better than the others. So, but then this also shows that you need more trades, right? Because you need at least 20-25 trades for us to have a proper review. You get. So this the data here is too small to conduct a proper review. But yeah, that's why I said let me just look at this and see what I come up with. And that's what we have so far. Okay. So yes, the take home here is we all need a plan. Okay, we all need a plan. Now, something else I want to point out is, please, okay, we have recorded our trades for April, but we're starting a new month, which is May. If you're going to have the same journal, please give a space down, right? Just give a space down and start recording for May, okay, so that you can differentiate the records. Now, something we all need to do now is make sure that you have created a demo account. If you haven't, please do so today. Okay, all the trades you take from this month, you need to take them on an actual account, preferably a demo account. Even though you have a real account, please create a demo account that you can use to track these trades alongside. Okay, please, so that when you come up with your journal and you're down 3% in your journal, your account should reflect the exact same thing. If you're up 2%, the account should replicate the exact same thing, or something similar to that. You know, of course, commissions and swap fees here and there, but the account should have all the trades you've taken. Similar, something similar. You get. So we should all have that. Okay, we should all have that. I mean, yes, extra work, but you pay off. You pay off. Trust me, if you create them, and please create an account on MT5, not MT4. The reason why I say this is because sometimes the demo accounts you create on MT4, from my personal experience in the past, sometimes they don't last. Like you could come up 2 months later, 3 months later, and then the account is not, you can't log into the account anymore. So that's a big problem. Okay, it's a serious issue. Now all your progress could just be lost. Even though you've saved the details, you can't log in. That's the problem I noticed on MT4. It has happened to me several times. I've lost so much progress doing that. So please create your account on MT5. Okay, you're creating a demo account, do not MT5, because from my experience, you don't lose the account. Okay. Now I promise you, when you create that account, when you trade the account for 3 months, you'd see your performance. Okay. When your journal is saying one thing, your account will be saying the exact same thing, not a different thing entirely. He also helps to keep you accountable so that when you show the journal, you know for a fact that the account is reflecting the same thing. And so that you don't have to lie to yourself. Okay? Because that's what some traders do. So you don't adjust the journal to fit or to just make it look like you're good at what you do when you're not. But then when your account is reflecting what your journal is saying, then it means that, okay, yeah, it's the same thing. You get it. So that's something we all should do. So having a plan and making sure the new records from May are separate. Okay, having a plan, the new records are different or separate, and then creating a demo account. Okay, so George, please, the column that I mentioned, entry type should be there.
Yes.
What else? What else? Trade type. Entry type is there. Entry type will be, like we said, break and retest of a key level or FIB, all that. Then we have trade type is continuations or reversals. Okay.
Okay.
So for what I see here, yes, entry type and trade type. What else? Let me see. I think that's about it. Entry type, trade type. That's about it.
So Kasi,
Yeah. Now,
for the
okay. Go ahead.
for the entry pattern, it means that we're supposed to pick maybe 2 or 3 entry patterns. That is all. Like because for instance, now I was looking at maybe I'll pick I'll use Fibonacci, reversals, like chart patterns, and but the way you are saying, like you want us to focus on maybe break and retest, continuation, and that is all.
Yes, what I'm trying to
The
say
chart
here is
patterns are not like included, or like candlestick confirmation. Maybe I've seen evening star, morning star, those things. No, bearish
no,
engulfing.
no. Now you see, chart patterns are one thing, but making them consistent is a different thing altogether, right? So what I'm trying to say here is I will not just wake up today and then buy up a double bottom and wake up tomorrow and buy up head and shoulder. These are chart patterns, but we need much more than that to make them actually work and be consistent. You get, right? A break and retest is also to an extent a chart pattern. You get. So they are all chart patterns, but the question is how do you create consistency out of these patterns? You're not going to just trade all of these patterns together, right? Because if I'm going to think about it, right, what the reason why I'm using my experience is because if you have to speak to a hedge fund, if let's say quant traders are trying to like make your system quantitative in a sense, it'll be difficult. Like your system cannot be coded. Like you cannot really code your system and make it automatic. The reason because there's just so much redundant variables in your system, right? So you want to make it like as constant as possible. Let there be similarities with your trades. For example, if I'm buying a double bottom today, if I'm buying the bottom of think about this. A double bottom in an uptrend is different from a double bottom in a downtrend, right? And there's a difference. The first one is a continuation. The second one is a reversal. So what am I buying? Am I buying a double bottom in a downtrend? For what reason? Have I tested that pattern? Can I buy a double bottom in a downtrend on all assets? Can I buy it on all currency pairs? These are big questions to ask. So it's not just about winning NZUSD. That's just a piece in the whole puzzle, right? It's about making sure that this pattern works. I think that makes sense. So it's about making sure that this pattern works. Because if I click the chart, I can show you like 5 other double bottoms that have come up that may not have played out. And if you can buy the double bottom on NZUSD, it means that you should be able to buy the double bottoms on other pairs. Because if you leave them, it means that you're leaving your edge out. Because if you have an edge with the double bottoms, then why are you not taking them on other pairs? You should. So all of these are key things that we look out for as we're trying to build our systems. So I hope that makes sense.
Okay. Yes. Okay. Right. Thank you. Thank you very much.
All right. So once again, let's just reiterate. So we said you're supposed to have entry type, okay? Entry type, trade type, what else? Yes, so I was trying to speak on this. Now we have result. This is good. Result is good, and you can have your risk to reward. But then, please, I want you to have a column that specifies. Okay, I want you to adjust this. Keep this as result. Okay, keep this as result. Have a column for P and L. P and L would be if you took a loss, make it -1. If you took a win, make it 6R. Right. Just have a column that specifies your P and L. Okay. Have a column that specifies your P and L. So I think that and what else? Yeah, I think that's about it. I think that's about it. So let me see. Now I don't want to speak too much on the time frame because I can already find some very different things here with the reason for entering and then the market structure. That's why I'm not speaking on the time frames. So you see at the end of the day, and everything we need to align, right? So I'm not even trying to touch on all the variables yet or all the columns yet, but you can see that there are differences or redundancies from just these two columns. So I want to make sure that they are in line, at least these two. Okay. So let's just take the adjustments and yeah, see how far we go. So George, I hope that makes sense.
Yes, I understand.
All right, sweet. Now I think we might have to end the session here. So I don't want to watch any of the reviews. Okay, so Carlos, do I promise I don't think I've seen yours. Apart, I'm not sure.
I've already sent you mine on Discord just now, so you can check it out.
Oh, okay, sweet. So I'm not trying to rush any of the reviews. I have to take my time.
Notion, sir.
What are you using then?
I'm using any type.
Any type. Is it possible for you to send a file or a link? Is it possible?
Yes, but I think the person that is going to receive it should have any type too.
I think that's fine. I can do that. Just reach out me on Discord, okay, so that we can discuss that.
Yeah, I've messaged you on Discord.
Okay.
I'll send the link.
All right. Okay. I'll check. Okay. So yes. So I think we got the updates that we talked about. So I think Captain, the only thing is sorry, Captain, do you use liquid brokers?
No, I don't. But I have an
Oh,
account.
you don't.
Well,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay. That makes sense. All right. Okay. So I think we got the updates, and yeah, let's see how we can work on that. So there are still more journals to look out for. Yeah, I have some already, and look at them on Thursday. So of course, like I said, I'm not trying to rush it. I'll have to take our time with each of the journals to make sense of everything. So I think we just looked at Judge and Captain, and yeah, we have a little review, and there's more to come. But yeah, I think you guys understood the purpose of the review, and I hope it's making sense. So if it is, then of course, good work. So any other questions today, just before we wrap it up? Any other questions?
Please, can you go back to I think USDCHF, please? Currency pair.
USDC. Oh, right, let me see. What's that? Okay, so yeah, USDC. This is how we're looking.
Please, can you display on the? I thought as much. This is the weekly time frame.
Yeah. What do you want to see? The daily time frame?
Yeah, I think is it the daily or should be the 4-hour time frame?
4-hour time frame. Let me see.
Yeah, I think it should be the 4-hour time frame.
Yep.
Okay. It's actually looking pretty good on your own chart. Though mine, I'm having my level like the point I'm considering my key level is at here you're having what was it point eight 840. You're actually having point 840, but me personally, I'm having something above that. Actually, my key level is actually at point I think 85 something thereabout. So, but if you should take out from the the break that it actually gave there, I'm looking at that as a break and retest on the far time frame. But from what I can see, I'm already seeing that no point in giving out a zone from there because that's actually where your level is. And seeing this, it's actually I'm glad seeing this because I'm looking at taking the retest of this zone, but I'm looking at it as a 4 hour break and retest because it's currently in line with the 61.8 fib level. So that's it. Though I was actually having my own key level at some area above this point 840. Yeah, so that's it.
Oh yeah. The key level is around 0.40 because I mean you see price action pretty clear, like pretty clear. So and then look at way back, right? So sometime in 2011, here's a reaction. So I think we should take that.
Yeah, because I'm having um 84328 over here. That's actually what I'm having 84328. But I'm
Yeah, it's about
interested
the same
at
thing.
yeah, of course, but I'm actually interested at point 84,000. Yeah, 84,000 as the
Yeah,
area I'm waiting for a retest. Yes.
yeah, same thing I'm looking at. Same thing,
Okay.
same thing I'm looking at.
That's
So
that's great. That's great.
all right. So okay. Any other questions, please? Thank you. All right. Any other
Uh,
questions?
hello, sir.
Yeah, problems. Fine.
I would like to ask about risk management.
Mm-hmm. Which one? Yeah.
Yeah, I want to know how can we like manage our risk. That's my next.
Your audio is quite low.
I'm asking how can I manage the risk and basically control.
Okay. How do you already manage risk?
Yes, I
How do you,
I did.
okay, how do you do
Yeah, I
that?
basically use 1%.
Per
At
trade?
some point, it seems that's not really enough because I get stopped out and then it will now go my way. So I'm looking at maybe increasing it or maybe finding a new entry level.
Sometimes you get stopped out and then price goes your way.
Yes.
Okay, but that has nothing to do with your position size. Think about it. Because even if you increase risk, would it reduce the chances of you getting stopped up and price going your way? No. So I don't think it has something to do with your position size. I think it has something to do with your levels, where you enter, where you get out, where your stop is placed. So I think if I get a copy of a journal, I think I would understand it better. Maybe.
Okay.
Yeah, I think that's so yeah, just okay, you said you reached out already, so I'll just check that after the session. And then I think I'll respond to you. You said any type, right?
Yes, any type.
Okay. I think I'll get that so that I can have you I can see your journal. All right.
Okay. Thank you.
All right. So, of course, I'll still take my time with the journals, right? So I looked at them today, but I'll still look at them again. Okay, and of course, I also want ChatGPT to say a thing or two. So I'll show you guys all of these things. But again, I just like the fact that you guys are trying to make progress because you're seeing your efforts playing out, and you're seeing how much improvement you're making, which is beautiful to see. And this is what I was requesting for from students in the community. So as long as you're doing this, rest assured, in time to come, you're going to make so much more progress. Okay, so you guys have nothing to worry about. And yeah, let's just keep up the pace. All right, you guys are doing very well. I promise you. So once again, I'll wrap the session here now, and I will see you guys on Thursday. Okay. So you guys have a wonderful evening, and yeah, take care. Let's have a fantastic week. Okay.
Yeah, thank you very much. You too.
Of course, anytime, man. You
Thank
guys
you.
take
All
care.
right, thank you. Appreciate. God bless.
Yes, of course, anytime.
Bye.
Yeah, yeah. So I'll stop recording now, and yeah, you guys take care.